That's all.
You two on the Spirit of Rock, Show 97.7 and Sunday, Bloody Sunday. You're hanging out with the Rockman, 11:20 and 10 degrees in downtown Montreal on this eve of the Montreal Comic Con. And look who just blew in my door, Mr. Neil Adams himself. How are you, sir?
How are you doing? Are you actually going to the Comic Con this weekend?
I was thinking about it. You want to go?
You know, everybody's talking about what am I going to do this weekend. Everybody says I got something great to do this weekend. I say, what are you going to do this weekend? They say, and I say, you know, there's a Comic Con on in town, and they go, no.
Yeah. Thanks for clicking. I'm glad you blurted that one out. No,
and their eyes open wide, and it's like, there's a Comic Con in town, really? Yes. Need a reminder? Guess what? Tonight we're going to talk about it, right?
It's going to be huge. And in the immortal words of BTO, you ain't seen nothing yet. Mr. Neil Adams in the studio with us for the next hour or so. We'll talk all things comics on Shome. Yeah, it's Queen on the Spirit of Rock, Shome 97.7. By request of Mr. Neil Adams.
Hey, if you don't love Queen, who are you?
Yeah, you got a problem if you don't like Queen. I have to agree with you on that 100%. So, we ordered some food for you.
Hey.
Got you a burger from
You can hear the bag wrinkle.
Yeah, we heard the bag wrinkle.
Tomorrow morning you can hear Stan Lee talk at the convention.
Yes, you
He's
can.
right next to me at the con.
Is he right next? Is that where
right next to me at the con? You know all those ropes and stuff?
Yeah.
You want to go see Stan Lee tomorrow? He's going to be at the convention right next to me.
He's going to be next to you.
So cool.
Oh yeah, totally. Are you only asking because I've met him before. He's got quite a presence.
Wait, see, you couldn't end the sentence. He's quite, no kidding.
Are you still?
I love Stan.
Yeah,
Stan's great. Stan. He's like, he represents comics, like slightly older generation, kind of smiling and loud, but he is very, very cool.
Yeah. Now, can you give me any stories from the Mighty Marvel bullpen in the 70s?
Oh, man. Stan, I'm going to tell you something. When new guys would come into Marvel, Stan would describe the kind of stories he wanted. Jack Kirby, he would say Jack Kirby stories, and Stan would actually jump on his desk and pose like Jack Kirby drawings to the new artists. And they would like walk out of the room going, what the hell's going on in there?
So this is how he would...
That's how he would present it. And you know, it nailed it. You know, people go, that's Jack Kirby. I can do that. And he was such a fan of Jack Kirby that you couldn't help but get that when you talked to him. So here John Buscema would come in, terrific artist, wonderful illustrator, go into Stan's room, and he'd come out and say, Stan was jumping on the desk, I'm telling you. And so that's what he wants. And John Buscema became not a Jack Kirby clone, but a Jack Kirby action-adventure comic book artist.
Wow.
I mean, it's just totally insane.
That's great. We're going to get more stories from Neil Adams as the night progresses. We're going to let him have his burger first. Tom Petty on the Spirit of Rock, Show 97.7 and Running Down a Dream. We have the fabulous Thunderbirds in there, Little Black Keys, and Motley Crue doing what I never do, smoking in the boys' room. In studio with me still, Mr. Neil Adams. You're hanging on. How's the burger?
Burger's great. Burger's great.
Isn't that place great?
It's terrific. There's a new thing that you guys were trying to introduce me to. What's it called?
It's called poutine.
Poutine, and I hear it's fabulous, and I didn't get one.
You've never had poutine?
I've never had it. I better have it tonight.
There's a promise to you right now. On my kids' heads, I will bring you a poutine at the convention.
Then I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you a set of posters that I did for the convention.
Okay.
That you can give to fans. You can figure out some way to give it to fans tomorrow when they come. Fans.
I like it.
Okay?
We'll do it.
That's a deal.
All right, so Shome listeners, if you are at the convention tomorrow, if you don't have your ticket yet, you can still get them online or you can get them at the door. $25, kids are free. Come see me. I will have some gifts from Mr. Neil Adams, and if you're nice and if you're worthy, we'll give you one. Now, Neil, I want to talk about this comic book that was reissued, I think in the last year. I hunted it down. It's called Superman vs. Muhammad Ali. This was put out in 1978, and I'm 40 years old. I got this when I was 7 years old.
You just admitted how old you were.
On
rock radio.
I don't care. I'm long gone being cool. This book meant so much to me, and to see this come out again, it's unbelievable.
Well, I think in the midst of the political situation that was going on at the time, with Ali going back and forth with the American federal government as to whether or not he was going to be in the Army, he had to win his title back 3 times. We decided, a very small number of us, without necessarily asking corporate over at DC Comics, whether or not we could do Ali as the greatest champion in the world and fighting Superman, and then figure out a way to make it happen. For us, it was the most important thing, because there's an awful lot of change that needed to happen in comic books. And since comic books are read by kids, we did have a small responsibility to do a comic book that talked about the real world. And I know people may say, Ali, real world, Superman, real world, but you know what? You pick up that comic book, you're going to have some big eyes.
Oh yeah, and I did. And when I went back through this again, I mean, the last time I had seen this, I was probably about 8 or 9.
A lot of things in there that are even still a surprise.
Blew me away. And we were talking on the way in the car before about the 2-page spread at the beginning when they're in
New York, actually in the Bronx.
When they're in the Bronx, and just the detail that's in there. So if you guys don't know the comic, check it out. I'm sure it'll be around at the convention tomorrow. Once again, Comic Con tomorrow starts at 11 a.m., goes right up until 7. $25. Kids under 12 get in free. Everybody's going to be there.
Comic books are taking over the world.
That we know. And you know who we have to thank for it? Guys like you. Neil, thank you so much for being
It's
around.
a pleasure.
Stick around for as long as you want. And Montreal, more music on the way.
The spirit of rock. 97.7.